is new, but I am Fallon Ryan. I'm the development coordinator here at the museum, and the biggest thing I do for the museum is run our membership program, and that is a huge undertaking, and our members obviously really are the lifeblood of our organization, and I think of membership program as a train. And the train has got to keep going, and the money's got to keep coming in, and if that train stops, we're in trouble. Because if the money stops, we've got to make sure we can keep the lights on and keep all our great programs and exhibits and everything going here at the museum. So there are various volunteer opportunities in development, which I said houses our membership program in our development department. And I'll just quickly go through what those are. There's always things to collate and file. We thank every member and donor with a tax acknowledgement thank you here at the museum, and those all are copies that are made of those, and there's backup that goes with it, and they go into their donor files. So there's always, really important backup information that needs to be filed, which can kind of get behind in the busy months. We also get returned mail. All the mail in front of you that goes out, some of it comes back to us, and we want to make sure that our members' information is the most up-to-date that we can get it. So you may get a list of a couple of names to call and just find out if they have a new address and if they still would like to be a member of the museum and where we can send their information. Also, the front desk, when they sign people up for membership, they give out little temporary membership cards, which is something they can just have right away, so that by the time it comes back to me and I get them processed and out in the mail, if they want to come back right away, it just makes them feel welcome, and they get a little temporary card. So those always need to be printed and sliced and given up to the front desk. Another slicing project are our benefits cards, which you'll all see in front of you in your piles, that are a third sheet, and it's a little chart of all our membership benefits. It's a great reminder that we put in these mailings, let them know what their benefits are, and it also may entice them to upgrade to a higher level of membership, which we also always encourage through our letters and whatnot. And also a big part of our membership outreach is our e-news. You all probably get it through your email account, and it's monthly, sometimes more than once a month, and it's our e-news letting everybody know what's going on at the museum. Really important to get those email addresses into our email program, and so there's always members' emails to input so they can be up to date with us. The other function that I serve has to do with our member events here at the museum, and I do all the RSVPs, and what tags along with that is name tags. So we have really snazzy looking name tags for our pay box and above, and we have a little name tag program, and I can print those out, and you guys can help put them together in the little badge inserts, or they may be Avery stick-ons. It's just a time-consuming task that's so important that we know what their names are when they come to events. It makes people feel comfortable. It's a nice touch and well worth the effort. Also, with events, we have our Running Wild in August, and we have volunteers create kind of these, we have businesses donate items and their little gift baskets and things that people can win when they come to the event, as an example of a gift bag that volunteers would help us with. Also, we have a lot of cultivation events this summer. The first is coming up on the 8th of July. It's for our Three Creek golf members, and they are being welcomed to the museum. We have a couple of hosts who are members of the museum that are members also at Three Creek, and they are hosting this event to bring in new members, and they will get a 3-month trial membership for the summer to try out the museum and get them involved. So we'll create packets for them, so that will be coming up shortly. And that really leads into another part of events, which is our invitations. And I don't have one laid out today, but those are also very time consuming, but also very important to get people to come to our events. And so it will be a similar mailing like this that I'll have laid out, but we'll hand address the envelopes most of the time, or it may be labels, and collate and stuff those all together with pretty stamps and get them in a mail in a timely fashion so that we can get great RSVPs and get good turnout at our events. We also give free individual memberships to teachers in the Valley. So there's always new teachers, teachers to renew, and things that I can have use your help with teacher memberships. Also, we have something new that we are thinking about starting, and that is for someone that maybe can't come into the museum all the time and do their volunteering, and they want to do something from home. They would get a spreadsheet from myself with a list of new members and their phone numbers. And it's just a great way to reach out, welcome them to the museum, and thank them for becoming a member, and kind of, inquire, why did you join the museum? Oh, I'm new to the Valley, I just moved here. Great. So valuable information, I think, could really come from a project like that. We also started a sample invitation binder, which will constantly be updated, and it's just nice to look back and see all that we've done and the designs that we've used and how we word things, so it doesn't feel like we're reinventing the wheel every time. And so it's a great reference, and we'll need to keep that binder up to date. And we also have archives in the library here. For more tech-savvy volunteers, there's various tasks that can be done in our Razor's Edge database. And an example of that would be, for instance, Marsha Wackerly has been helping recently keeping all your volunteer information up to date in the database. In the bio information, when you started volunteering, what your birthdays are. So we want to make sure that that information is up to date in our databases. And we also create actions, is what they're called in our database, and that is for people that are members at a certain level and above. They get a thank you call from someone on the staff, from various development people, including Jim McNutt, our president and CEO, and it's, again, another touch. The touches are so important. I don't think you can thank someone enough, or show too much appreciation for what they do for us at the museum. Another example of a database task would be, once I have created an event in there, we want to track it. We want to know who actually came to these things. So when we go back and look in their record, we can see, well, Mary Ann came to the luncheon we had on this date, and then we did a training on this date, and then we had a paint box event at a home on this date, and she came to all of them. And so it's a nice look at what they're participating in, and what is successful as an event here at the museum. The front desk and development membership is pondering the idea of having a separate little desk and chair off from the front desk. When large groups come in, it's hard to tell people about membership and answer all their questions and get them to fill out the form fast enough so they can help the next people behind them. So we may or may not be reaching out to volunteers to sit up at the front, and if there are any questions, to help them fill out their forms, just kind of get people moving through a little quicker. So there'll be more information about that if we decide to move forward with that idea. And all of those things, I can understand, might not sound like the most fun things that you can be doing at the museum, but I just really want to stress how important they are, how it really takes almost a village, in a sense, to get all these touches out in a timely fashion, and that, those touches, like I said, really cultivate relationships for us, and those relationships we hope, are long-term. And that they, really go through almost a continuum, a cultivation continuum with us. So you know, like I said, it may not be the most fun, but they are really important, and they keep the museum open and our members, so I take pride in it, and I'm happy to work with anybody who is willing to help with any of these tasks. And so that is, in a nutshell, all the various things. And in front of you, I've set up various stations for an example, which is a real membership mailing renewal for the month of June. And what you'll see in front of you is the various pieces that will get tucked into the various envelopes and will go out to our members to renew. They get 4 chances to renew. There are 4 letters that go out. It starts a month before they expire and down the line. And if they don't renew with the 4 letters they receive, they have one last chance with what we call a lapsed mailing. And we do that every 3 or 4 months. And they get one last chance to come back on as members. A lot can happen in 4 months. You can be traveling, you can be at a different home, and you know your mail didn't forward as quickly as we'd all like to get to where you are. So it's good that we give them multiple chances and kind of right in a row, really great reminders. They get a membership renewal letter, which is written by our development department and myself. They get a renewal slip, which is in the center, the maroon and white. And then tucked in there is the renewal envelope so that they can return it back to us with their membership. And another piece that sometimes we do, but we switch up the additional pieces in the mailing depending on the time of year and the month. This one that's here is an example of a gift of membership insert, which, as you'll see on this corner, is only going in our July group for the June mailing, because the other 3 groups have already received it. So it kind of gets shifted through where we don't necessarily need to give them the slip to renew every time, but then the additional materials will vary depending on where they are in the renewal process and the time of year. So this is a great idea. It's a gift of membership. We always feature a piece of artwork from our collection and a fun little tagline, and this is deer in the forest kind of peeking through the trees, and the tagline is "Peek into the world of wildlife art with a gift of membership." So we always encourage people to give gifts of membership to their loved ones, their neighbors, someone in the community, maybe someone just new to the valley. What do you give the person that has everything for Christmas, for instance? So we're always encouraging our volunteers and our board and everyone affiliated with us and our members to encouraging gifts of membership. And another piece that you'll find in the summer mailings is a piece that comes from our marketing department, and it's called Arts Happening. And it's a great little inclusive calendar of all the events that we have going on from June 1 on, all the way up until Western Visions. And this is, you know, I can just envision someone putting this on a magnet up on their refrigerator, or keeping it, you know, in their purse, in a place where they can reference it throughout the summer and really see all the wonderful things that we have going on here at the museum for our members and also our community. We have a lot of free events. We do a lot of great things. So this is a great little all-inclusive piece there. And we already alluded to the benefit sheet, and that is the other little thing here. And like I said, that reminds them of their benefits, and maybe they choose to upgrade depending on what those benefits are. So in a nutshell, you would first take the renewal statement, and these you will find when they go through the folding machine, they all come out backwards. So these two, I know that these 2 piles I have re-alphabetized, but you always want to make sure that the name on the slip matches up with the name on the letter. And of course, you know, that is the most important thing, is matching up those names. There's an inner envelope that they'll return to us that says membership on it. And I always tuck those 2 together so that you can still see the name clearly coming out of the inner envelope. And once you have those two pieces together, what you're basically going to do is file in all the other items behind it. So the most important thing is the renewal slip. And I always just kind of hold on to that, and then in whatever way you think is the best, go ahead and tuck in, if you're that first group, the gift of membership slip and the Arts Happening calendar, and of course the benefit sheet. And once you have that all together, and definitely important that you do tuck it inside the letter, the thinking is that when they go to pull out the letter, it all comes out together. And once you have that, then you can just go ahead and grab your window envelope and go ahead and tuck. You'll flip the letter the other way because we want the name to show up through the window of the envelope. And that, in a nutshell, is how we do our general membership mailings, which are monthly, and currently one of the biggest things we use our volunteers for. So thank you.